Screams and tears of joy as Kherson residents welcome Ukrainian troops after Russia retreats from the strategic southern city. US President Joe Biden has arrived in Egypt for COP27 talks, pledging to accelerate global climate action. Police in Brussels say the man suspected of killing an officer was known to authorities for radicalized views. Forever their heroes. Screams and tears of joy as Kherson residents welcome Ukrainian troops. Kyiv's military entered the southern city earlier on Friday, after Russia retreated from the only regional capital it had captured in the war.
Today is a historic day. We're taking back the south of our country. We're taking back Kherson. Special units are already in the city. The people of Kherson waited and never gave up on Ukraine. Hope for Ukraine is always justified. Ukraine always returns to its own people.
As blue and yellow flags are raised on most monuments, the announcement comes after Russian strikes killed 7 in Mykolaiv, a city near Kherson that Moscow has been battering for months. A bitter reminder of the reality still faced. The Kremlin insists Kherson is still part of Russia and says it does not regret illegally annexing the region at a lavish ceremony in September. But for now, Ukraine's artillery teams say they have clear views over Russia's retreating routes, and they're warning any attempts to return will be stopped. The arrival many had been waiting for. US President Joe Biden has touched down in Egypt for the COP27 talks. The pressure had been mounting. Biden was expected to announce sweeping green laws after showing up at last year's climate conference relatively empty-handed.
We're investing more than $20 billion in domestic methane mitigation to do things like cap orphan wells, leaking methane, improving industrial equipment in the oil and gas sectors to reduce emissions. All told, these steps will reduce U.S. methane emissions from covered sources by 87% below the levels of 2005 by 2030.
The US, along with the European Union and Germany, have also pledged a package of more than €480 million to finance and help Egypt's transition to clean energy. Biden added that the war in Ukraine made it more urgent than ever to double down on climate commitments. Just moments before a Brussels police officer was stabbed to death on Thursday night, the suspect of the attack was taken to a psychiatric ward by authorities. A federal prosecutor today revealed he had already been on a watch list maintained by Belgium's terrorism monitoring agency.
The
suspect, Yassine M., born in 1990 in Brussels, is of Belgian nationality. He lives in Evere. He was known to the justice system for common law acts that led to his detention between 2013 and 2019. He's also on the list established by the Belgian intelligence service. At this time, the investigation is ongoing. The suspect will be heard by the investigating judge as soon as his condition allows.
The federal prosecutor says the suspect had left the hospital and targeted 2 officers stopped at a red light. A 29-year-old was stabbed in the throat and died shortly afterwards. The suspect was shot by other officers and remains in hospital.
The German lower house of parliament has voted to continue the operation of the last 3 German nuclear power plants this winter. These will remain running until the 15th of April next year due to issues with Russian energy supplies. In the original phase-out by the Bundestag, all nuclear plants would have been shut down at the end of this year. A large section of the destroyed Space Shuttle Challenger has been found by divers for a History Channel documentary, buried in sand at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. It's one of the biggest pieces of the Challenger found since the accident in 1986. It remains on the ocean floor just off the Florida coast, near Cape Canaveral. The families of all 7 crew members have been notified.